If what you say is true, the Wu-Tang could be dangerous.
Academic theories differ on where exactly Pangu came from.
Well, what in the world does the creation of China have to do with the Book of Mormon? This is just a fan theory, bro. First of all, there's 2 load-ups into the ship mentioned in the Book of Mormon. Traditionally, they're read as a single load-up, but if you look, in the middle it talks about the birth of Joseph and Jacob. So then if you look on either side, there's 2 load-ups. And if you read them as 2 load-ups, it could be because they don't launch out into the open ocean until the second load-up. Meaning their first load-up could have been back in the Middle East, and then their second load-up could be when they cast off into sea somewhere south of China. And we know the Hebrew, like many other languages, differentiates between waters and deep sea. Nephi notes that Laman and Lemuel weren't at all scared of drowning until they got into the deep sea. But here are a few reasons why a stop in the South China Seas would work. For instance, it appears Jacob and Joseph share the same father with Nephi, but have a different mother, so Nephi refers to my father, but their mother.
A popular theory is that he evolved from the folk stories of southern Chinese ethnic groups like the Yao, the Hmong, and the Li peoples.
But mixing with people south of China is just such an easy answer to the genetic, architectural, and linguistic questions. That explains why DDJ is in the Book of Mormon.
In their folklore, during the reign of an ancient king, there once lived an old woman in his palace who had ear pain for 3 years, after which a royal physician plucked a golden worm out of her ear that was about the size of a silkworm. This worm was placed in a gourd and covered with a plate. Unexpectedly, the worm turned into a dog with 5-colored fur. It was named Panhu, literally plate gourd, after where it had emerged from. The king loved this dog and always kept it at his side. But the king had one major worry. An enemy tribe was threatening his borders. He declared that he would bestow a high-ranking title, lavish gifts, and the hand of his youngest daughter in marriage to anyone who could bring back the head of this tribal leader. The dog Panhu then suddenly ran out of the palace and all the way to the enemy tribe's war camp. The tribal leader happened to be throwing a party and was super drunk. While he was passed out, Panhu bit off his head and brought it back to the king. The king was beyond delighted, but since Panhu was just a dog, all he gave Panhu was a lot of meat to eat. This made Panhu sink into depression. After several days, the king mused that maybe Panhu is mad at him for not fulfilling his promise to marry his daughter to the tribal leader's killer. But it's not like dogs and humans can marry. Suddenly, Panhu spoke up, telling the king to not worry about it, and to just place him in a golden vessel for 7 days and 7 nights, after which he would become human. The king did this. On the 6th day, though, the princess got worried that Panhu may be starving in that vessel, so she took a peek. This was a mistake. Panhu's body had turned human, but his head hadn't, and it wouldn't change now. So the princess had to marry him as he was, with a dog hat on her own head. This was the birth of furries. I mean, southern tribes.